And we're back. Hi, it's Super J here, and you know what's coming. You know what's behind this door. It's time to find out, once again, who's got shit in their eyes. Well, tonight, Matthew, it's Kay the Snake Burley.
This is Sky News. I'm Kay Burley, poking the news with a stick until it cries.
Kay Burley, as seen on the satirical puppet show Newsoids. Very aptly portrayed as a snake on the show, because that's exactly what Kay Burley is, a snake in the grass.
So, just to clarify, you are comparing women, Muslim women wearing burqas to not being able to go into a bank wearing a crash helmet, is that right?
Obviously, there are so many clips of Kay Burley being a loathsome piece of crap. We'll take a more recent one. So this is the Boris Johnson burqa row, and obviously it will be Kay Burley's job to destroy anyone showing any signs of support for Boris Johnson. Let's see how she gets on.
So, just to clarify, you are comparing women, Muslim women wearing burqas to not being able to go into a bank wearing a crash helmet, is that right?
What I'm saying is that you're not allowed to go into a bank with your face covered so that the CCTV can't see you.
What's that got to do with anything?
That's important.
She's loathsome.
What's that got to do with anything?
Yeah.
Now, as this guy's making perfect sense, Kay Burley's just going to have to laugh at him.
Well, that's the rules of going into the bank. You have to show your face, don't you?
What on earth has that got to do with suggesting that women in a burqa look like bank robbers?
Well, there's millions of years of human evolution that we look for affirmation for our own words and actions in the faces of others. And when people can't see someone's face, it makes them feel uncomfortable because they don't get that behavioural feedback. And it makes me uncomfortable. But no, someone wearing a burqa doesn't make me any more uncomfortable than trying to have a conversation with someone wearing a crash helmet with the visor down. That makes me feel uncomfortable as well. That's just perfectly natural.
So you feel uncomfortable having a conversation with a woman who's wearing a burqa?
So the guy's already explained himself. Not just burqas, but people with motorcycle helmets with visors too.
I think I do, because when I'm speaking to someone and I want to see their reaction to my actions and my words, you look at their face. There's millions of years of human evolution in judging people's reactions from their faces. And obviously without that feedback, the conversation is very difficult, because that's what we're used to.
So once again, he explains the whole thing again.
OK, I'm just going to have to ask you that again. You feel uncomfortable having a conversation with a woman who is wearing a burqa?
What is it this woman is not understanding here?
With anyone with their face covered, yes, I do. If they were wearing a mask or if they're wearing a crash helmet with the visor down, it's very difficult to get that empathy and that behavioural feedback of whether they approve or disapprove of what I'm saying or the way I'm saying it. Yes, that's very difficult.
So do you think she gets it now?
What about, I don't know, somebody like Simon Weston, who can't necessarily show his facial expressions given what happened to him at the Falklands and he was so hideously burned? So,
I've met Simon many times.
Yeah, so, I mean, does that offend you?
What she's done here is an offence to broadcasting. This is why mainstream media are no longer trusted. She just asked this guy if Simon Weston, the Falklands war hero, offended him.
No, not at all.
But he can't show his facial expressions the way that you've just been illustrating, so...
Yes, he can.
So just take that to its logical conclusion for me?
So for what, that is an absolutely ridiculous comparison. I mean, he's a decorated war hero who's been terribly wounded in the service of his country. I mean, who was going to look at Simon Weston as anything other than absolutely, esteem?
Okay, absolutely, I completely agree with you.
So if you're finding this whole conversation rather bizarre, then give yourself a point, because it is completely bizarre, unless you know why it's happening. It's happening because these guys need to discredit that guy, because that guy supports that guy, and that guy said something bad about these guys. So she still hasn't got her man, but that's not going to stop her.
But what about other other people then with facial disfigurements, people who potentially have been injured, I don't know, in 7/7 or whatever. How would you feel about them when they can't show the same facial expressions as other people? I mean, how do you feel about that?
I mean, listen to that tone of voice. I mean, she's really gunning for this guy now. Now we're not talking about Simon Weston, we're talking about other people with similar disfigurements. Right.
Kate, I'm talking about the science behind the behaviour of how we interact generally as human beings with each other. There are millions of years of evolution in us making a decision on looking at people's faces,
right.
as to whether...
Listen to her tone of voice. This guy is not biting. I think this guy is totally bewildered with the conversation he's been forced to have here.
And say, well, yes, I believe what they're saying or not. You wouldn't be happy if I were wearing a mask at the moment or a full-face helmet, and you couldn't see whether your viewers could actually think, well, does Andrew Bridgen actually believe what he's saying or not? What I'm talking to you is the science of human behaviour.
Yeah, and recognising...
And how people may feel uncomfortable if they can't see the response.
But you don't feel it's that people have been facially disfigured, so it is just burkas then, really?
Unbelievable. This is bad journalism. This is bad broadcasting. But this guy's reaction says it all.
No, I would feel equally uncomfortable if someone's trying to have a conversation with me in a full-face crash helmet with the visor down and I can't see their face. That's not a way to have a comfortable conversation, is it?
To me and to many people, the majority of people in this country, the veil does look ridiculous and it has no place in a Western liberalised feminist society in which we live. There is no justification for it, in my personal opinion.